Hello? Why is that there? How are you? Sorry, things are popping up on my computer. We're continuing to read from Black Skin, White Mask. We're doing the chapter on black men because a lot of people throw off on women. But like I told you, was staying in a men's shelter, and I probably will have to return there if I don't get your support. And I haven't been for 20 years, so I probably won't. And So I want to discuss men in this society, or men, or black men, and how we function in a white dominated society. Even still, after 2020, it's still dominated by them, even though they gave us a chance to take control of our lives. I couldn't take it any longer, for I already knew there were legends, stories, histories, and especially the historicity that Jaspers had taught me. As a result, the body schema attacked in several places, collapsed, giving way to an epidermal racial schema. In the train, it was a question of being aware of my body, no longer in the third person, but in triple. In the train, instead of one seat, they left me two or three. I was no longer enjoying myself. I was unable to discover the feverish coordinates of the world. I existed in triple. I was taking up room. I approached the other, and the other, evasive, hostile, but not opaque, transparent, and absent, vanished. Nausea. I was responsible not only for my body, but also for my race and my ancestors. I cast an objective gaze over myself, discovered my blackness, my ethnic features, deafened by cannibalism, backwardness, fetishism, racial stigmas, slave traders, and above all, yes, above all, the grinning why banania. Banania. I don't know what that means, but somebody would. I actually think we should think more about representing our group and our ancestors because we don't do that well at all. Disoriented, incapable of confronting the other, the white man who had no scruples about imprisoning me, I transported myself on a particular day far, very far from myself. It gave myself up as an object. What did this mean to me? Peeling, stripping my skin, causing a hemorrhage that left congealed black blood all over my body. Yet, this reconsideration of myself, this thematization, was not my idea. I wanted quite simply to be a man among men. I would have liked to enter our world young and sleek, a world we could build together. I refused, however, any effective titanization. I wanted to be a man and nothing but a man. There were some who wanted to equate me with my ancestors, enslaved and lynched. I decided that I would accept this. I considered this internal kinship from the universal level of the intellect. I was the grandson of slaves the same way President Lebron was the grandson of peasants who had been exploited and worked to the bone. The alert was soon over, in fact. The United States, blacks are segregated, or in the United States, blacks are segregated. In the South America, they are whipped in the street, and black strikers are gunned down. In West Africa, the black man is a beast of burden. And just beside me, there is this student colleague of mine from Algeria who tells me as long as the Arab is treated like a man, like one of us, there will be no viable answer. This was written back in the day, but some of this stuff is still true. Slavery, being whipped, or being segregated is just in a different way. Matter of fact, black men today are segregated into the street, just living on the pavement, being stepped over. You see, my dear fellow, color prejudice is totally foreign to me. But do come in, old chap. You won't find any color prejudice here. Quite so. The black is just as much a man as we are. It's not because he's black and he's less intelligent than we are. I had a Senegalese colleague in the regiment, very smart guy. Where do I fit in? Or if you like, where should I stick myself? Martinican, a native from one of our old colonies. Where should I hide? Look, a Negro mammon, a Negro. Shh, you'll make him angry. Don't pay attention to him, Monsieur. He doesn't realize you're just as civilized as we are. My body was returned to me, spread eagle, disjointed, redone, draped in mourning on this white winter's day. The Negro is an animal. The Negro is bad. The Negro is wicked. The Negro is ugly. Look, a Negro. The Negro is trembling. The Negro is trembling because he's cold. The small boy is trembling because he's afraid of the Negro. The Negro is trembling with cold, the cold that chills the bones. The lovely little boy is trembling because he thinks the Negro is trembling with rage. The little white boy runs to his mother's arms. Mammon, the Negro is going to eat me. The white man is all around me, up above the sky, is tearing at its navel. The earth crunches under my feet and sings white, white. All this whiteness burns me to a cinder. I sit down next to the fire and discover my livery for the first time. It is in fact ugly. I won't go on because who can tell me what beauty is? Where should I put myself from now on? I can feel the familiar rush of blood surge from the numerous dispersions of my being. I am about to lose my temper. The fire had died a long time ago, and once again, the Negro is trembling. Look how handsome that Negro is. The handsome Negro says, "Fuck you, madame." Her face colored with shame. At last, I was freed from my rumination. I realized two things at once. I had identified the enemy and created a scandal. Overjoyed, we could now have some fun. The battlefield had been drawn up. I could enter the lists. I don't believe it. Whereas I was prepared to forget, to forgive, and to love, my message was flung back at me like a slap in the face. The white world, the only decent one, was preventing me from participating in demanded that a man behave like a man. It demanded of me that I behave like a black man, or at least like a Negro. I held the world amputated my enthusiasm. I was expected to stay in line and make myself scarce. I'll show them. They can't say I didn't warn them. Slavery, no longer a subject of discussion, just a bad memory. My so-called inferiority, a hoax that it would be better to laugh about. I was prepared to forget everything, provided the world integrated me. My incisors were ready to go into action. I could feel them sharp, and then, I don't believe it. Whereas I had every reason to vent my hatred and loathing, they were rejecting me. Whereas I was the one they should have begged and implored, I was denied the slightest recognition. I made up my mind, since it was impossible to rid myself of an innate complex to assert myself as a black man. Since the other was reluctant to recognize me, there was only one answer: to make myself known. We'll come back and we'll deal with some more of this chapter tomorrow. Black Skin, White Mask, Friends for None. Until tomorrow. Oh, please support by hitting some of the links down below. You can donate straight away. Don't let somebody like me die destitute. It sends a bad message to the rest of the community. Support people like me, and we'll know that thinking and sharing knowledge has a value. Take care.